on YouTube, it's Dan from the James Prigioni YouTube channel, coming to you live from Jersey. It's May 1st today. I'm gonna do a food forest tour, show you guys how everything looks. Looks like we're gonna have an epic year, guys. Let's go.
We'll have to become more responsible for our life, but what's wrong with that?
Strawberries are doing great this year. Got a bunch of flowers all over them. We've already got some little strawberries on some. They're loaded this year. Never can have too many strawberries, guys. This peach tree is doing well, hoping to get a lot of fruit off it this year. It really is just turned into a food forest. It really has that feel when you walk through some of those places. Like in here, you just come through and you realize how big some of these trees have gotten. Underneath here, we got all the strawberries flowering, all the grapes, and trellis up to that. So it's a nice setting. This oregano plant has gotten huge. I'm gonna have to dry a lot of that this year. Here's a golden delicious apple tree. It was loaded with blossoms this year. Now it's loaded with fruit. Last year it didn't really have any. See if we can get some delicious apples. There's the apple tree from seed. It looks beautiful this year. I worked on the structure in the winter. I pruned it up. You can see I cut the stuff all on the bottom and the base, let air flow through. Some people call it lollipopping. Here's some fruit from the apple tree from seed. There's a lot more fruit than last year. The idea with the apple tree from seed is that we could use the apples for jams and stuff. The apples are a little small, but they taste good. It's also gonna be a great pollinator for all the other apple trees. So it's going to provide multiple functions for us. I'll just be able to prune it down and stuff as small as I want. It also is the healthiest apple tree that we have. And of course, under the apple tree, we've got strawberries growing, yarrow back there, and mint. This rhubarb is huge this year. I'm going to have to make some rhubarb pie or something. It's a few different rhubarb plants all clustered next to each other, so it looks beautiful. Some lemon balm and stuff coming up right behind the rhubarb too. There's a number of different things planted on this fence line here. Raspberries in the front, grapes along the fence there, onions, blackberries. Here's the queen of the garden, the Bing cherry. This thing is a monster. We've just never got much fruit on it because it never had many blossoms, but this year it was loaded with blossoms. Here's some small fruits forming already on the Bing cherry. One thing we love about this Bing cherry is the structure of the tree. We've never even really had to prune it. It's just grown with beautiful structure from the start. Here's an example that this system is becoming self-replicating. I didn't plant any of this stuff here. We've got strawberries, cilantro, carrots, even a small peach tree. The strawberries were planted years ago back there. The cilantro was self-seeded, as well as the carrots. And that peach tree is just self-seeded from the peach for underneath here. Here's a red delicious apple. This one didn't have a lot of blossoms last year either, but this year it was loaded. Has a good amount of fruit too. Here's some of the red delicious apples. Still putting out flowers too, although most of the flowers look like they're pollinated already. Even the Rainier cherry is looking to put out some fruit this year. I put in some new trees this year. Here's a white Doyen pear. Pears do real well around here. You can see potatoes in the back all coming up. Those are ones from last year. Just like Paul Gauci, I plant and harvest my potatoes in the same day. When I harvest my potatoes, I take the biggest one and I put it back in the ground. Think about that, guys, planting and harvesting in the same day. I'm gonna get potatoes this year. No work. We got peas along the fence line looking beautiful. Soon we'll be able to come through and add some thicker mulch around the base of them now that they've grown taller. Here's a Captivator gooseberry. Put this in last year. It's looking beautiful. It's got a bunch of flowers and stuff on it, so we're gonna get fruit from it. Last year I buried one of the branches and it rooted, so now we got new gooseberries just extending that edge. We've got peas coming up along all the fence lines, and as they start to get taller, I'll plant cucumbers behind them, just like I did last year. And as the peas are finishing, the cucumbers will go through, get double the yield in one location. We've also got self-seeding cosmos and stuff coming up everywhere, as well as California poppy that's self-seeded and is coming up. California poppy is one of my favorite looking flowers. I transplanted in a bunch of echinaceas last year that I started from seed. This year they look beautiful. Soon they'll be shooting out the flowers. Great medicinal, beautiful flower. Here's a new asparagus patch I put in just last year, already loaded with asparagus. I'll have to do a video on how I did this. There's a certain method on how to do it. Here's the multi-grafted Asian pear. This thing produced great fruit last year. Hopefully it comes again for round 2 this year. It's got so much fruit on it though, I'm gonna have to pull some of it off. Here's a sweet 16 apple I just put in recently. Underneath that is a cucumber that we never harvested and just sat, went to seed, so these are all cucumbers just coming up on their own. Radishes coming up on their own as well. Here's a nectarine tree we put in just 2 years ago when it was just a small whip, looking beautiful now. It's nearly impossible to get peaches in New Jersey without spraying or anything, and we're trying to get nectarines, which are even harder to get. We picked a nice disease-hardy tree, and I think it'd be a great testament to the system we set up if we can harvest some nectarines naturally. It's gotten to the point where cilantro just comes up wild now. We just allow some of it to go to seed, and when it goes to seed, we just cut it back and just let all the seed fall. It comes up everywhere. So delicious to eat it when it's young. It's always growing in so many different phases, so you can get the young ones while you get ones flowering too. Here's where the entrance was to one of the original gardens. Now we got the grapes growing up over top of it, hoping to have the grapes hanging down over our heads as you walk through here. You can see how big and healthy these vines are. This one's a monster too. You can see they're bleeding a little bit because we pruned them late, but they'll be fine. Right next to the grapes, we've got mushrooms coming out. Good evidence of good soil fertility, high water content, high humus content. That's good. There's grapes growing up this side over here too. And you can see we got raspberries right underneath them, so we're getting that double yield in one location. And you know we got seeds coming up, guys. Spinach, radish, lettuces. All these beds have been planted here and are doing well. I'll have to do a video on how we do that. We've got a pretty cool technique. This raspberry patch back here is just blowing up. Started as just a couple raspberries a couple years ago, guys. Small investments like that can really pay off. Got an apricot tree growing right in the middle of it there. I've added some new different varieties of raspberries to kind of switch up the genetics. We're gonna have to take some of the fruit off. It's got so much. I feel like it barely has any leaves. It's just got mostly fruit. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. This apricot tree is really blown up also. It flowers really early though, so the frost kills it often, the blooms, but it's still holding a couple pieces of fruit, I think. There's a couple little pieces, but not many. We'll see how this plays all out in the future. Here's a Golden Delicious apple tree. Looks like it's having a good year. It has more fruit on it than it ever has, and I really like the color of the leaves this year. The overall health of the tree, it just looks the best it ever has. Here's a currant that I just cloned from my neighbor, producing currants this year. There aren't a lot of currants, but there's still some on there. Got another apricot back here looking nice. Has a couple little pieces of fruit on it. Look at that goji berry back there. Look at the size of it. Look at all the new shoots coming up. Looks really healthy. Loves this location back here. Loves trellising along that fence too. Man, those new shoots are thick and healthy. Next to that goji berry, we've got seeds planted all here. Peas along the back fence, beans planted in front of them, some lettuces, some radishes. After the peas get bigger, we'll go through plant cucumbers through there too. Here we've got an apple tree here. Underneath it, I've got chocolate mint, my favorite kind of mint. There's comfrey back there, and I've got strawberries coming through the mint and stuff too. Yeah, I love this mint. It's my favorite kind. And look at that, the strawberries are flowering right in the middle of the mint. We've got an elderberry back here that's huge now. Right next to that and underneath it is blackcap raspberries. These blackcap raspberries look like they're gonna be loaded with fruit this year. They started from one stalk over there, now they're all the way over here, all the way over there, by that Shinseki pear tree. They're everywhere. Some of the blueberry bushes are looking good. They got a lot of flowers and stuff on them. This is our best apple tree on the property. After just 1 year in the ground, it produced fruit, delicious and beautiful fruit. It's a wine sap apple, and it's looking really healthy. It's got small apples right there. Here's a new strawberry patch we added last year. Loaded with flowers, you get a lot of strawberries this year. This is the way to do it. Here's a Saskatoon bush back here. I believe they're also called service berries. Got a lot of blossoms this year. Looking to get some fruit off this one. It's got beautiful little flowers. Different flowers than anything I've ever seen. Got hardy kiwis here. Put them in just last year. There's a male right in the middle and one female on each side. I haven't seen any flowers this year yet, but it's only the 2nd year in the ground. It looks really healthy, so we'll see how it does in the future. Even just the foliage of the kiwi is beautiful though. Those purple stems, bright green leaves. It looks like it's gonna be an awesome year, guys. I'm really excited. New videos coming out soon. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following along. James Prigioni is out.